popped him over this morning, and I'm telling him, thank you for popping my big eyes open this morning. Wonderful, another wonderful, blessed day. Another wonderful, blessed day. The weather is good. We have so much going on today. And we thank the Lord for that. My guest is Marie Laster Black. She is a mother uh, who is surviving the pain behind her young son 6 years ago happened to misfortunately take his life. And to turn her pain around, she does a program that's titled Surviving Pain During the Pandemic. We're going to be at Williams Temple Church of God in Christ today from 10 a.m. until 12 p.m. Have different speakers coming in, young and old, and panel discussions. And it's going to be a wonderful event. It's helping everybody heal. And this event is perfect here today because with the pandemic going on and the virtual learning, all of this is new to our children, and they're being confined at home in certain areas that they can no longer visit and, go and play at the parks and stuff. And our children are used to being outside. So parents, we have a lot going on. A lot is new for our parents. Some of the parents are working from home, and with the virtual learning, they're having difficulty to do their job that is their livelihood and help with schoolwork. But to God be the glory, He is going to make a way for us all to understand this. Our children, they're precious gifts from God, precious gifts from God. And one thing that my mother and the other mothers told me, there is no book on being a mother. There's no book. People have been writing books, but we're talking about that deep down inside feeling of being a first time mom, second, third, or whatever. My mama used to say with me and my son, she said, baby, Grant's on your lap now, but as he get older, he's going to be on your heart. And I found that to be true, not alone for myself, but for other parents. This time that's going on, the grandparents are having custody of their grandchildren. Some of the grandparents are in their 70s and their 80s. They don't want the grandchildren in the system. So they're taking on this tremendous task because at 70 and 80, we should be retired, crossing our legs, pushing a remote control, drinking coffee when we want to. There's a whole bunch of things that we could be doing throughout the day. So we want to thank God again for Zoom because we can't come out, yet God has a way of the communication spirit. And with us now, it is Zoom. And I want to thank everybody that supported my first Zoom last Saturday. And I'm blessed to have 898 views. I truly do thank God for that. Because guess what? We all have a message. And my message is peace and good day. People ask me, why did you say that all the time? I want peace in my life. I want peace, and I do want to have a good day. How about that? I want to have a good day. My guest is probably tidying up the event at our church today. I asked daughter, would this be too much? And she's like, no, mother, I'll be there, but I call it the uneventful. Uneventful things will happen that will prevent us from following through on our word. I've been knowing her a long time, and I'm loving how, again, I say, she has taken her pain to help others. If you get a chance, today is going to be my first social distance. This is my first social distance. And I said, please let everybody have a mask on, And I do want to be sitting social distance, 6 feet. It's about safety, health. It is a whole lot of things. And we want to, we can't teach our children to follow instructions if we're not following instructions ourselves. It's just that simple. If we're not following the instructions ourselves. And I am an advocate for following instructions. I tell my young people, when we get to the red light, when we get to the stoplight, if it's red, it means stop. And if it's green, it means go. And if we don't abide to the directions from the stoplight, we're going to have a casualty. We're going to hit somebody or somebody going to hit us. And instructions is a daily part of our lives. And today at the event, we're going to have a lot of young people. I was there last year, and to hear the words coming out of our young people's mouths, they're just like us. They're scared. They don't know. They've never been 12 before. They've never been 11, 13, 14, 15 before, and neither have we. And as the bodies start taking mental and physical changes, it's very scary. It is that you're talking about, my young people say, it's a new thing. It's a new thing. Surviving pain during the pandemic. Not only are we in the process of surviving the pain, but it's at a time with the pandemic. So here our children are dealing with, and adults are dealing with two, surviving pain, and it's during the pandemic. And we're going to help educate each other. This is serious, everybody. This is serious. Wearing our masks with protection. I see so many people that have told me that they're not wearing a mask. I said, you got to be kidding me. You may be a carrier and don't even know it. So how can we want to be here to help our babies. I get calls all week, daily, about the homework, the virtual learning homework, how much homework they're having on the virtual learning, and how some children can't focus sitting still like that. I think they told me the classes is from 9 to 12. I'm not sure, but that's 3 hours sitting in a seat, where when they were in school, they had breakfast, they were up moving around, they went to class, they went to the little boy and little girl's room, they had recess, all of that they're not able to do now, sitting at the desk doing their schoolwork. Some of my parents tell me that attention span is terrible. I said, yes, mommy, yes, daddy, but you got to understand, this is new to them. Because while they're sitting there in class, they already know that after this particular subject is over, they're going to go outside and run all over the place. They can't do that. I'm told everything is time censored, so they can't just get up and walk around. Even me, doing Zoom, I have to stay focused. I'm just like a child in some areas. I have to keep moving myself. But I know for this program to be successful, you all have to be able to see me. You see me, you have to be able to see me and hear me. And with me having a daycare, I've been blessed to be in business 12 years. I'm struggling with my preschoolers that is so used to playing and sharing things together that they can no longer do. And they're not quite understanding why they can't play dollhouse together. My girls have their dolls and they dressing them up and passing clothes back and forth. They can't, they can't do that now. And these is 4-year-olds that's not understanding. Why, grandma? Why? And in my daycare, I teach my children that they are brothers and sisters. You are protectors one for another. We can't even go on field trips now. We were taking our children to all types of educational places, events. We can't do that. We're locked down ourselves. So could you imagine a 4-year-old, those of us that are grandparents and single parents and the married parents, could you imagine telling your 4-year-old, sit at the desk? And you think your 8, 9, and 10-year-old is struggling with being still. Sit at the desk. You can't play. My children are used to hugging each other when they come in. When my babies come into the daycare, they speak, they use the hand sanitizer, they take the shoes off, they go through the plan that we have here. And then they hug each other. They can't do that now. I have also separated their clothing, their shoes, everything. Everybody has their own. I bought big storage bags. So they put their things not in their cubby hole, not on the coat rack. For safety measurements, I put them in a big storage bag, spray it down, and their names is on the bags. And can you imagine that their pair of Nikes or whatever these designer shoes are is going in a big plastic bag? You see here, my children, Grandma, they're my new shoes. I said, they're going to be all right. They're going to be all right. And you pray much for the daycare centers. I'm a type B because I'm having my business in my home. Pray for the centers. Pray for all of us with this adjustment. And my children, my 3 and 4-year-old, and I have a 13-month-old, we actually sit down and talk about the coronavirus. And to hear them after we've discussed it and they come back the next morning, they are on point. I open up the door to let them in. Excuse me, Grandma, excuse me. I got to go wash my hands. I got to do this. I got to do that. And I ask them, what is the coronavirus? They say germs. Grandma, they're germs. You got to wash your hands, Grandma. Wash your hands. They're germs, and they're germs that make you sick. And don't touch your face. Don't touch your eyes. Don't put your fingers in your mouth, Grandma. Don't, it's another don't. Oh, when we take the temperature, now we have to take temperatures with everybody. So I have one of the infrareds, no touch, and I take their temperature, and I use the alcohol wipe after each one. Now I have to explain to them, why am I doing that? And I said, what's the magic word? Oh, they used to be jumping up and down. Germs, Grandma, germs. So see, this is daily with us. Yes, it is germs. And you should hear them about wearing their masks. We're struggling with keeping that mask on. They don't want to keep that mask on. I'm having them practice to keep it on for safety, so they can get the concept of it, because they have to wear their masks when they go with their moms and their grandmothers, and things of that nature. Put your mask on. So I have a plastic bag. I spray their masks down. I put it in a clean plastic bag, sandwich bag, every day. Every day. When they leave, they take the mask out the bag, they take it with them. I discard it. I throw it in the trash. And believe me, they will know the next day. They will know the next day if that's a new sandwich bag. And I've even taught them, I've showed them how to wash their masks. When I'm washing their masks and my mask and my husband's mask, I said, this is what you do. Because they're in homeschool, daycare schooling now, but they said schools will be opening in 21. And I tell them, you're going to be going to big school. And when you get in big school, this is what you're going to have to do. My children have designated desks that they only sit in themselves. The Disney characters, my girls like Elsa, and the boy, he likes Paw Patrol. So they know to sit in their own seat. I've taught them how to clean up behind themselves. So it's all of this is a teachable moment, and we have to really, really encourage each other. I'm telling you, encourage each other. I told one of my daughters I should invest in some stock because I'm constantly buying disinfectant. We use the microban and what is it? Hand sanitizer, alcohol, bleach, wipes. I said, I need to invest in stock. But then I found out I'm not the only one because we have guidelines from the county and the state that we have to deal with ourselves. So please, let's encourage each other. We got to encourage each other. And I'm so grateful that down through the years, my daddy, God bless his soul, taught me that when you have an appointment and you've given a person your word, you may have to go by yourself sometime. You may have to stand alone. So you always be prepared for that moment. And Daddy also taught me that don't stand up and say, oh my gosh, so-and-so's not here today. I don't know what to do, this and that. He said, you should have stayed home. Because when you step out before people, you ought to be prepared in the areas that you told them about. So that's why I'm going to continue doing Zoom, whether I have a guest or not. Before we did Zoom, I was going into the studio, and we still did it. It's improvised. That's all it is. I tell my children, when you give somebody your word, when you say I'm gonna do something, you be there. You be there. Don't worry about it. Years ago, when I first met Brother George Frazier, and we had went to an event that was going on at the Touch of Elegance, and I remember him saying, don't worry about the numbers, because when you look out there and you have set your mind that you're going to see 500 people, 200 people, 1,000 people, he said, in your mind, you will see them. And in Brother Frazier's statement, brought me back to my daddy's statement. You have to stand alone sometime. And Brother George Frazier poured so many nuggets into us. I'll never, ever forget. And I've been following and supporting and networking because he's such a teachable person. And what I really love about him, we used to say when I was coming up, he'd tell it like TISTS. And that's what he does. But he encourages us. He's another great encourager. Go through. The Bible tells us to go through. Go through. Don't worry. Because I'm telling you, I feel like right now that I'm Zooming, speaking to thousands of people because I set it up here. It's in my mind that I'm talking to 1,000 of people, thousands. I'm serious because we have to think big. We got to think big. We got to stop the small, narrow mentality. Think big. Think big. Dr. Yvonne Pointer says in Hope Haven, it's going to be big. God is a big God, and it's so true. I don't want to be thinking for 10 people to support me. No, I need hundreds and thousands. to support me and to support you. So let's think big, big, this great big old world. We're all over in Ghana supporting our Ghana babies over there. That's another part of thinking big. When I talk to my children and I talk to other people, I'm coming in thinking big. Think big and it will be big. My daddy, he was an awesome man. My parents migrated from the South. Daddy began to teach himself a lot. He was in the Army. He read a lot. He read, oh my goodness, he had us to read. We had to go to the library uh, and read a book and write a report. And Daddy said, Abby didn't read the book as well. So when I'm talking to you and you're telling me what you read, I want to know myself. And that's another thing. Since our babies can't go to the library, parents, please have them read. We have people out here, Sean, with the literacy um, program. I can't ever say her name right. I call everybody daughter and son. She has the literacy program where she goes around, her and her team, and they give you brand new books. Since the pandemic is going on, I think the libraries are open now. I'm not sure. I only know that my children isn't going, so we have a library at home. Read. This is a time where we can do so much, so much. Um, there was a little girl. I can't remember if it's a girl or a boy, but he sold lemonade. Go on Facebook. He's on lemonade. I mean, he is on Facebook. He sold lemonade. And the money that he made from lemonade, he bought Pampers, diapers, where he's just giving it away free. See how the Lord touched his mind? There are people out there in need, and it's free. He has stacks and stacks of Pampers. This young man is so young. He's between 8 and 12, I'll say. But already, it's in his spirit to think about others. And I'm so proud of him. I don't know what to do. I don't, because he could have been doing anything else, but he thought of somebody else to reach out and help. That young man is going to go far in life. He could have been playing football in the backyard. He could have been playing basketball. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. But he decided to be a giver. And I think it's awesome because with the economy and all the changes that's going on, this is going to be helpful to our single parents. And like I keep saying, and some of our married parents. So please don't say, I'm bored. I don't have anything to do. Yes, you do. The Bible said, find what your hands can do. When my children tell me that in the daycare, especially my 4-year-olds, oh my goodness, Grandma, I'm bored. Oh, really? Okay. We got 200 blocks. I need you to build me a desk and a chair. Oh, I'm not bored, Grandma. Guess what? It's too late. Guess what? It's too late. Go and build me something, because who knows? You might be an architect or an engineer. And he did a beautiful job. So by him saying he was bored, my other 4-year-old, which is a girl, she wanted to build a castle. And my other one, that scholar of mine is something else. She wanted to build a mansion, a queen's, the queen's house. She said, Grandma, I want to build a mansion. So it took them maybe 15 minutes. It was awesome. It looked like somebody my age or your age had built these things. So when they come and say they bored, then I told my babies that When I was coming up, I said it one time to Mama that I was bored. So Saturday morning, Mama decided that she needed help with washing the windows and taking down, back then, they were called Venetian blinds. You had to be careful because you would, the edges would char, something like our blinds we have now. That ended my career of the word bored. We had a great big old house with 3 floors. So we watched windows all Saturday. I think Mama got us up at 8. Daddy said, in this house, nobody sleeps past 8 but me and your mama. So we were up at 8, and I think we finished about 12. Mama stopped. No, we had breakfast. We washed windows. We took a break. Mama gave us a snack. We went back to washing windows. And at 12 o'clock, we had washed windows from the 3rd floor down to the 1st floor. So be careful with that word bored. So my 4-year-old says, I don't want to be bored. I don't like that, Grandma. I said, okay, good. So that's a word that we'll scratch from our vocabulary, being bored. Find you something to do. Leaves, we go out in the yard. We have a fenced backyard. And on Nature Day, find me something that's part of nature, and you should see them. Finding leaves and rocks and all types of things. Finding something. We have to teach our children. We have to teach them. Go beyond. Don't stop there. Go beyond that particular time. Go beyond. Excuse me. Go beyond. Go beyond. You don't see me, but I do have my hand sanitizer because practice what you preach. I just coughed, cleared my throat. And I'm so glad them little bundles of joy not here because they certainly told me use the hand sanitizer. So what I want you all to do is look forward to Zoom next Saturday at 9 o'clock. I have 3 awesome guests coming next Saturday, and they are, need these, Antonio Gaines, he's the principal of the Cleveland College Preparatory School. Robert Williams, the principal of the Cleveland Preparatory Academy, and Sean Crosby, Warrensville STEAM Academy. These are representatives from the Excel schools, and we're going to talk about a lot of things next week. And if anybody knows the effect of the virtual learning is the principals in the school. I want to thank you so very much for listening to me, giving me a few moments in your life. I love you all. Please have a blessed day. And if you get a chance, come down to Williams Temple Church of God in Christ on 69th and Woodland and